Nagpapatuloy ang mga pagdinig sa Senado ukol sa pag-usbong ng online gambling sa Pilipinas at epekto nito sa mga negosyo sa ekonomiya at higit sa lahat sa buhay ng mga Pilipinong naglalaro nito. At alinsunod nga rito, inatasan na ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas na mag-unlink ang mga e-wallet platform sa mga online gambling sites at applications. Ano na nga ba ang lagay ng Pilipinas matapos nito? Ako si Rose Babiara at ito ang Point of View. Pakikinggan ang bawat panig.
When you fight for justice, think about the queer people.
Kung hindi kami magkukwento, sino ang magkukwento para sa amin?
Ang mga panawagan, ipababatid.
Hindi talaga ito masusing pinag-aralan ng gobyerno.
The women who are beaten and abused. It's time to listen to their voices.
Tunghayan ang iba't ibang boses, mga kwento mula sa iba't ibang anggulo. Dito lang sa Point of View. At ngayong tanghali, makakasama po natin para ibahagi ang isang pag-aaral ukol sa mga naging epekto ng pag-aalis ng koneksyon ng mga e-wallet platform sa mga online gambling sites at application. Makakapanayan po natin Sir John Braille Bae, ang Research Director ng The Fourth Wall. Sir John Braille, magandang tanghali po and welcome to our program.
Magandang tanghali sa iyo, Rose, and sa lahat ng mga viewers ng programang ito.
Ayan, Sir Brel. Bago po natin umpisahang pag-usapan yung buong pananaliksik na naisagawa ninyo, pag-usapan po natin, what is the fourth wall and ano po yung nag-prompt sa paggawa nitong research na ito?
Well, ang The Fourth Wall is a socio-cultural research company na ang focus namin dito ay ang pag-aralan yung pag-uugali ng mga Filipino. No? Yun ang main focus namin. Kaya ang hashtag namin is We Know the Filipino. Kasi ang focus namin ay unawain kung ano ba ang kaugalian ng mga Filipino, what makes them act the way they do. So yun ang ano namin, yun yung focus ng research namin. And ang main reason bakit namin ginawa itong research series na ito, no? Hindi lang siya isang research, marami siyang stages ng research. Main reason why we did it is because napansin namin na ang init, 'di ba? Ng debate tungkol sa online gambling, no? To the extent na yung mga kilala nating institusyon gaya ng simbahan are getting involved in the discussion. Pero nung sinaliksik namin yung mga datos tungkol sa online gambling, napansin namin na halos walang data. Halos walang data tungkol sa behavior ng mga players. No? Which is very important if you want to understand yung pag-uugali nila at kung paano mo sila tutulungan. No? Kaya sa tingin namin, responsibilidad namin bilang isang research company na gumawa ng pagsasaliksik tungkol sa pag-uugali ng mga online gamblers or online gambling players. Ano ba yung dahilan ba't sila naglalaro? What's their motivation, no, for playing? Kasi nakasentro doon kung paano mo sila tutulungan, no, sa pamamagitan ng policies.
Alright, you've mentioned. Ano nga ba yung parang, bakit nga ba naglalaro yung mga tao? And you've mentioned you have a series of researches already. Itong pag-uusapan po natin ngayon supplementary research na lang.
Yes, correct.
So you've conducted a series of research tungkol dito sa online gambling. Ano nga po ba? Bakit nga po ba nalulure ang mga tao sa paglalaro ng online gambling? What is it with online gambling?
May dalawang dahilan, no? Base sa survey namin, among 1,250 online gambling players across the Philippines, we found na dalawang dahilan bakit sila naglalaro. Una is gusto nila ma-entertain. No? Pangalawa, dahil niyaya sila ng mga kaibigan nila o ng mga kamag-anak nila. Peer pressure, yes, or peer influence, I would say. In fact, sa research namin, lumabas na 96% sa kanila nayaya ng kaibigan, katrabaho o kamag-anak dun sa platform na pinaglalaruan nila. So, in short, naglalaro sila dahil sa perspective nila, ang online gambling ay isang paraan ng pag-aaliw at pakikisalamuha sa mga kaibigan nila. So, it's a form of entertainment and a form of socializing with people.
Yes, but with the news at sa mga balitang nakakaharap po natin, it has gone beyond the entertainment.
Correct.
Itong online gambling. Actually, gambling itself is a form of entertainment, pero mas na-intensify yung mga harmful effects ng gambling when it is become accessible online. And yun nga po yung pag-uusapan natin sa recently conducted na survey na ginawa ninyo. But before that, ito pong online gambling, sabi niyo nga po naging mainit siya nitong mga nakaraang buwan lang. Lawmakers have filed resolutions para talagang magkaroon ng seryosong pagtalakay. Katulad nga po yung nabanggit niyo kanina, kasi walang mga data, walang mga datos, hindi na pag-uusapan until recently. Kaya itong mga lawmakers have started filing resolutions para magkaroon ng probe, which has become a positive in terms of discussing the issue. Positibo po ito kasi itinataas na in the form of lawmaking itong discussion ng online gambling. And one congressist say na meron pong urgent need to evaluate yung role ng financial institutions when it comes to online gambling. Kasama po dyan yung mga electronic wallets. Kasi ito raw po ay nagdadagdag ng, kumbaga, nag-enforce pa para ma-normalize yung online gambling, which is yung lumabas nga po sa research na inyong napakita. Before we break it down along the way, kung ano po yung mga laman ng yung mga natuklasan nyo dito sa pananaliksik na ito. Can you tell us about the main argument or the main findings of the research? At saka kung paano nyo po ba ito kinonduct, itong pananaliksik na ito?
Well, yung supplementary analysis na ginawa namin, ibinase namin siya dun sa survey among 1,250 respondents, no? And para maunawaan ano ba yung mga factors that can potentially lead them to shift somewhere else, no? Gumamit kami ng data science, no? We used predictive analysis para ma-identify ano ba yung mga factors na yun, no? And in a nutshell, what we found sa aming predictive analysis is malaki ang role ng e-wallets sa pag-establish ng legitimacy at sense of safety among players na naglalaro sa online gambling platforms. And removing that from the regulated platforms while keeping it among the unregulated platforms. Kasi yung mga unregulated, they still have the e-wallets, di ba? Keeping it there leads them to migrate to unregulated platforms. Kasi sa perspective nila, mas safe at mas legitimate doon dahil nandun yung e-wallets. Yun.
So parang after po ito, no, nung parang naglabas ng order ang BSP na mag-unlink. And parang big e-platform, e-wallet platforms na nag-comply dito sa order na to ng BSP. And what you saw was, instead na mag-decline in the number of users in the online gambling platforms, ang nangyari po lumipat sila sa mga unregulated. Okay,
Correct.
before we talked about that, can we give our viewers ano po ba yung difference ng regulated at saka mga lisensyadong online gambling sites versus dun sa mga unregulated sites? At mamaya pag-usapan po natin, bakit ba mas risky at saka mas harmful itong unregulated? Can you give us just a bit of info about that?
Nako, maraming differences, no? We did kasi a monitoring of these platforms, no, both the regulated and the unregulated ones. And we discovered na unang-una, pinakamalaking difference between the licensed ones and the unregulated ones is the number of games. Sa regulated platforms, binilang ng team namin mga around 2,900 or close to 3,000 yung mga games na ino-offer sa licensed platforms. Sa unregulated platforms, it's more than 5,000 on average.
Mga games.
Mga
ibang
games.
Okay.
Oo. And what's interesting is in some of the unregulated platforms, ino-offer pa din nila ang isabong. Di ba nung December 2023, if I'm not mistaken, it's already suspended.
Yes.
No? Not as
Not
far as I know,
total ban,
suspended
yes.
lang, di ba? Inano muna sila, pinagbawal muna sila.
Pero sa unregulated sites,
Present sila.
accessible sila.
Yes, accessible sila. So that's one difference. Second is dun sa age and identity verification. No, sa regulated platforms, mahigpit sila dun to the extent that they ask for valid IDs. Pictures. Yeah, para masiguro na ikaw talaga yon at talagang
Below 21.
Yeah, oo, hindi ka below 21, no? Sa unregulated platforms, The only verification that we found is kung 18 and above ka.
Tapos iya-yes lang or
Yes,
no.
oo. And then, pasok ka na.
Mhm.
So that exposes
Minors.
minors to the risk, di ba? Kung gusto ng minor na maglaro, di ba? He can just claim na, oh, I'm of legal
18,
age
yeah,
na.
I'm 21 years old, check.
And then pasok na siya dun sa dun sa platform. So that's another difference. The third difference that we noted is yung limit sa pagtaya. Kasi sa regulated platforms, dahil nakalink nga sila sa e-wallets, di ba? So may limit. No? Sa unregulated platforms, yes, may e-wallet ka doon, which imposes limits, pero may iba ka pang payment options wherein pwede kang tumaya limitless.
Parang non-stop cash flow.
Yes, yes. Another difference that we also noted is mas agresibo yung marketing ng mga unregulated platforms compared sa regulated. So parang lahat ng ginagawa nila is to ensure that the players can easily access them. Unlike sa regulated.
In terms of ads to, sa
ads,
pop-up
oo.
ads,
In
mas
fact,
marami in
yeah.
unregulated sites.
Yes. In fact, nag-phishing pa sila, di ba? Minsan, may nahanap pa kami finding na gumagamit sila ng link ng mga legitimate websites, even UP, you're from UP, di ba? They use the link of UP to tapos pag pinindot mo, online, yung site nila yung yung pupuntahan. So that's another difference. Na hindi naman we did not find any indication of that sa regulated platforms. And then lastly, another key difference is pagdating sa customer service. No, kapag sa regulated platforms, malinaw yung proseso kapag nagka-issue ka. Malinaw kung saan ka magsusumbong, paano mo isusumbong, saan ka magsusumbong essentially. But for unregulated platforms, medyo inconsistent. No, hindi clear yung process. And we found dun sa next na batch of study that we will release, we found na marami dun sa mga nagkaroon ng issues sa unregulated platforms hindi na resolve. Parang sinabi lang, okay, we'll take note of the problem, pero hindi na resolve. So, yun yung mga differences na nahanap namin dun sa regulated and unregulated platforms. And I think, tama yung question mo, it's very important to distinguish between the two. Yan.
Kasi there's also a lack of information. Kung may lack of data, meron din talagang lack of awareness with people. And they don't know sometimes kung nasa regulated pa ba to or nasa unregulated na
Correct.
sila. So it's really important to know which is which.
Yes.
And so
yes.
I would just like to reiterate na yun nga yung nakita natin na ganun ka risky ang isang unregulated sites. And instead, we're working towards the data na instead of a decline, nakita tayo ng shift. In your study, it says that there was a 70% decrease in players on regular platforms.
Yes.
Okay, it's a good thing that there's a 70% decrease, but at the same time, there was 40% increase in players sa mga unregulated platforms. So, ang big focal point here is that kahit na tanggal yung pag-link ng e-wallet sa mga regulated, it's still available in the unregulated ones. So, bakit po kaya merong shift na ganun? Can you tell us kung ano yung mga naging factors sa movement na yun? Na instead na hindi na lang ako mag-online gambling, talagang lumipat pa sila sa unregulated site. Why is it so easy for people to just do that swiftly? Ano ba yung factors na meron sa unregulated sites na nagtitiwala pa rin yung mga tao?
Well, sabi ko nga kanina, in-examine namin lahat ng mga variables. So, lahat ng predictors na po pwede dun sa survey. And among those, 4 yung nahanap naming important factors of predicting the shift, the migration towards the unregulated. 3 dun sa e-wallets related. No? Una is yung tiwala nila, overall trust nila sa e-wallet platforms. No? So, lumalabas dun sa predictive analysis namin na the more a player trusts e-wallets, the likelier they are to migrate sa unregulated platforms. Kasi nandun pa yung mga e-wallet, no? Mas malaki yung chance na lilipat sila doon.
So basically, they trust the e-wallets. Kasi 'di ba e-wallets may mga verification process din yan.
Yes.
So the thinking is kahit unregulated site 'yan, may e-wallet diyan. magtitiwala pa rin.
Correct, correct. Parang nakakascade
Mhm.
yung trust nila sa e-wallet sa platform.
Mm-mm.
Regardless kung regulated yan o
Okay.
hindi. no?
Regardless.
Yes, yes. Second is yung tiwala nila sa age and verifications ng e-wallets, no? The higher their trust in the verification mechanisms of e-wallets, the likelier they will migrate to unregulated. So similar reasoning as the first one.
Yes. Kasi kung makita nyo po sa mga e-wallets, talagang minsan kailangan mo pang mag-selfie, yung may mga option pa na magbe-blink at just to verify.
Yes.
Diba? Na talagang yun yung age mo, magpa-present ka ng 2 valid IDs.
Mhm.
So, in that case, talagang na-build up yung trust.
Yes, yes, yes. And then yung third factor natin is yung tingin nila kung gaano ka-importante ang e-wallet sa paglalaro nila, no? The higher their regard na importante ang e-wallet sa online gambling play, the likelier they will migrate sa sa unregulated platforms. Kasi nandun pa rin yung preferred e-wallet nila options sila, e-wallet channels na gusto nila, nandun pa rin. So lilipat lang sila doon. The fourth factor that we found is not related to e-wallet but related to borrowing, no? Ang na-discover namin doon is yung mga taong humihiram ng pera para tumaya, they are the ones that are likelier to shift to unregulated platforms. While those na hindi umuutang, less likely na nalilipat.
Alright. So, ayun, nakita na nga natin na parang may malaking wave. And that's just parang ilang weeks pa lang after na pina-unlink ng BSP ito.
Yes.
So that's just, we were not even a month in yet, but nakakita na tayo ng increase with the players.
Correct.
Migrating, the term is migrating to
Yes, yes.
unregulated sites. So ano po ba yung mga effects nitong migration na ito? Nasa 40% pa lang tayo with your respondents. Pero there's a likelihood that this will increase. Ano po ba yung effects when people started, when online gambling in unregulated sites becomes normalized?
Well, malaki no yung effect kasi it exposes more people dun sa risk, no? And our study revealed na much of the risks are coming dun sa mga unregulated sites. Dun madalas nangyayari yung mga scams, yung mga panloloko, yung mga hindi binibigay yung wins nila, no? Madalas nangyayari yun sa unregulated sites.
Do you have any more like kind ng scams sa mga online gambling na na-face ng mga tao?
Again, this would be revealed dun sa next na i-release namin study, but just to give you a snapshot, most of the complaints, most of the issues or scams that were cited by players is yung hindi binibigay sa kanila yung panalo nila. Hindi na sila nababalikan. Hindi sila binabalikan dun sa wins nila. Yun yung pinaka prevalent na scam na nararanasan nila. We also found instances na yung mga minors nga tumataya, and we even found a post from Reddit,
Yes,
na
it has gone viral.
yes, yung minor na humihiram, kinukuha yung pera ng parents niya para tumaya, and then eventually nalubog siya sa 'di ba, sa debt. So mas likely mangyari yun sa unregulated platforms kasi walang limit yung yung pagtaya So tumaya ka anytime, anywhere you want, go lang. Walang cap na Kaya mas tumataas yung tendency for people to bet relentlessly, 'di ba? And then kapag naubos yung sarili na resources, hihiram sila. And that triggers, debt trap, 'di ba? Mas palubog sila ng palubog sa utang. So, mas malaki yung risk na yon sa unregulated platforms. And if people shift there, mas marami yung ma-expose dun sa na yun, sa risks na yun.
So, we already seeing a trend na nagmo-move sila towards unregulated sites. But isn't there also a tendency na mas dumami naman yung unregulated sites this time?
That's a possibility, no? Although wala pa akong data to back it up, no? But that's a possibility kasi doon doon lumilipat yung demand eh. And wherever the demand is, nandun yung di ba? May makikreate kang something doon, di ba? So, posible yun. Posibleng mangyari yun. And that is the unintentional outcome, 'di ba, of a policy, no? Yun yung isa dun sa mga risk na pwedeng mangyari.
Yeah. Although parang in a hindsight, we see the policy na nag-comply agad yung mga e-wallet platforms. But looking back, nakakita agad tayo ng mga effects. Kahit na yung policy itself is already like a moving forward na talagang
Yes.
parang isinusulong na yung para makaiwas na yung mga tao sa harmful effects. No?
Correct.
And also, going back to what you said earlier, na yung mga customer service sa mga unregulated site, hindi talaga na-follow up. Parang it kind of connects din dun sa mga scams nangyayari sa kanila. Kasi wala rin silang matatakbuhang customer service kapag na-scam na sila. Like even in regulated platforms, ang hirap nga mabawi ng pera na parang nawala sa'yo. We're moving forward to the effects then ng research na yan. You mentioned earlier that the fourth wall is really the focus is studying the behaviors of people, and you yourself is a behavioral research expert. And we know that gambling it is a behavior of
Yes, it
people.
is.
Yes, and the growing problem recently is that yung online gambling nga po nagbibigay siya ng access sa mga tao wherein the vulnerable, the poor, the people who's earning minimum wage earners, even the unemployed, nare-reach na nitong online gambling dahil nga sa accessibility nila. When it comes to gambling as a behavior, do you think this is something that the government should focus more on? Yung gambling as an addiction in terms of policy making?
They should focus on the root causes of it. No, hindi lang yung hindi lang yung phenomena of online gambling and addiction. That is an outcome kasi 'di ba? Outcome of a series of actions that you've done in the past. But what they should look at is yung root cause, no? Bakit sila nagsusugal in the first place, no? And second is there a way for you to really take it out of the system? Kasi, based sa research namin, lumalabas na it's more than just, getting earnings, di ba? Getting more wins. It's something cultural. It's deeply embedded in us. In fact, may nahanap kaming finding na historical data na as early as when Magellan came in the Philippines, they witnessed cockfighting. And yung mga natives, they're betting. So parang, even before the Spaniards came, may ganun na. So parang, I think it's important for policymakers to not just look at the phenomenon, but look at it from a behavioral standpoint and really dig into the root causes of it. Yun. Kasi nga, as I always say, every policy direction has behavioral implications. And in our view, sa the fourth wall, it's important for policymakers to look at the behavioral implications. No? Gaya nung sa example nga sa e-wallet delinking, di ba? And then previously, sa total ban, no? Those policies are, they're neither right nor wrong. But they're straightforward, di ba? They're simple, di ba? And they're easy to do, actually. Pero, that's on the surface. But, pag kinalkal mo, ano yung magiging effect niya sa behavior ng mga tao nung tina-target nila, it appears, at least from our findings, na there is a possibility, take note possibility, na it can worsen what it is trying to address. No? Take note, possibility. Kasi posible din naman na it can help, di ba? We are yet to see that. But there's a possibility na it can backfire. Kasi may behavioral nuance, no? May behavioral factor na na-overlook dun sa intervention na pinupush nila. Yun. So, I think yun yung pinaka-importanting elemento na dapat tingnan ng mga policymakers. And that is what our company is advocating. Just to be clear, we're neither pro or against online gambling, no? Wala kaming sinusuportahan kahit na ano dito. Ang ina-advocate namin dito is a more data-driven discourse on an important policy. No? Kasi importante na tingnan mo yung data talaga. Hindi yung ano lang, no, ibabase mo siya sa opinions, no, or sa popular tide, 'di ba? No, it's important to see where the popular sentiment is, but it's equally important to look at the data also. No? Kasi it affects lives.
Ayun nga po. Recently, when palang policies are being filed, resolutions are being filed to address online gambling, ang dami na agad na nagsasabi na, dapat i-total ban na yan. Dapat, ilang kongresista na po yung nag-file ng resolution at saka ng mga batas, panukalang batas, para talagang alisin na to. And you've mentioned earlier na the company is not opposing or supporting gambling. Pero ano po ba yung dapat munang tignan bago mag-arrive tayo agad sa total ban? Kasi PAGCOR also is in the position na wag muna tayong mag-total ban. Let's apply stricter regulations sa online gambling operations natin. Ano po ba yung dapat munang tignan bago mag-arrive tayo sa idea na iba na yan totally?
Tingnan muna nila kung ano ba yung factors bakit naglalaro yung mga tao. I think that's a very important starting point. Kasi lumalabas dun sa dati naming study, no? When we presented the possibility of, total ban, anong gagawin mo? 75% sa kanila ang nagsabi na lilipat lang kami somewhere else. Lilipat kami dun sa mga underground Telegram gaming. Lilipat kami dun sa mga gambling platforms na foreign sites na hindi na regulated ng Pilipinas, di ba? So I think it's important to look first, bakit sila lilipat doon? Ano ba yung motivation nila for playing in the first place, di ba? Is it just about wins, di ba? Sa data namin, it doesn't appear na the winning and losses are not the key factors that drive them to play. Ang main factors talaga is kasi nalilibang ako Nalilibang ako or kasi yung mga kasama ko naglalaro. No? So nahahawa ako. Parang it's part of being with them, 'di ba? Socializing with them. So I think the policymakers should look at that first before considering yung mga ganong policies, no? Tingnan muna nila maigi, no? Through data. Yes.
Before taking out agad yung bagay na yun. Kasi
yes.
it's interesting how you mentioned na may mga tao na nagsabi na kapag iban, gagawa pa rin sila ng paraan to entertain themselves. Kasi nga, sabi niyo po, entertainment is yung prime reason kung ba't sila nag-online gambling. So they would look for other ways for entertainment. Even iban yung online gambling. And ngayon nga po nakita natin na although, ayan nga, may pag-unlink yung mga e-wallet platform natin, mayroon pa ring way out yung mga tao to enjoy the same things.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I would just like to ask, yung Pilipinas, parang ngayon lang natin pinag-usapan tong online gambling. Ang dami ng yumaman ng mga operators kasi it's ongoing. Ang dami ng parang kumita dito. Pero ngayon lang din naging mainit na usapin. But where are we in terms of status? Pwede pa ba nating, matutuwid pa ba natin to? Or parang masyado nang lubog yung mga Pilipino in this case?
I think matutuwid pa rin siya. Provided that you look at it from an objective, data-driven standpoint. It all goes back to having the right data and understanding it from a behavioral perspective. No? Kasi you can see that there are developments na, like yung introduction nga ng mga age and verification requirements, 'di ba? It's set in place, 'di ba? So you already have the starting points, 'di ba? And I would say na if you continue, 'di ba, working together with different stakeholders in developing policies, 'di ba? Or mechanisms para tulungan yung mga players to, if not to ban, 'di ba, at least to regulate their behavior, 'di ba? Control their behavior. I'm sure na this can be addressed. This can be addressed. Also, another thing, I think it's important for regulators then to promote what they're doing, no? Kasi lumalabas na sa survey namin, no, when we ask them ano yung tingin nilang ginagawa ng PAGCOR, no, to help in regulating the online gambling platforms. 34% ng respondents ang sinabi hindi sila sure. Malaking ano yun, malaking proportion yun ng respondents. So, I think there is an area for improvement when it comes to increasing the awareness of people on how regulators can help them. Diba? Instead na they will be left hanging, diba? Or wala na silang gagawin, they will just accept na, oh, na-scam ako. No? When in fact, meron namang mga institutions, diba? Government institutions, regulators who are there to help them. Na it's their mandate to protect them and help them. So I think the government policymakers, regulators must endeavor to promote ano yung ginagawa nila to protect people. No?
Parang magpakilala. Kasi as of now, ang alam lang nila, parang ito lang yung naglulunsad ng mga online gaming platforms at saka online sites ngayon. Malaking factor din po sa pagiging accessible nitong online gambling is yung marketing. Nabanggit niyo po ito kanina na mas malakas pa yung marketing or how people get influenced through the ads and all that. And isa po sa mga kinakaharap na pinag-uusapan din ngayon talaga sa mga Senate hearings is how influencers and like popular figures market online gambling. Do you think this is also something that should be regulated?
It is an area na pwedeng i-explore ng mga regulators, ano, kasi lumalabas din dun sa survey natin na apart from friends, no, and family, yung mga influencers may ano din, may factor din sila. Pero hindi naman ganoon kalaki. Mas malaki talagang factor yung friends and family kasi mas malapit sa kanila yung mga yun, no? Mas nakaka-interact nila. So it's an area that the government, the policymakers can consider.
And also, may isang panukalang batas din po na inaangat. This is from Akbayan Party List. And this is heavily on regulation talaga ng mga pagprotekta sa mga players and sa users. And isa sa mga pinopropose nila is yung pagkakaroon po ng 10% na tax, dagdag na tax sa mga operators ng online gambling sites. And ilalaan po sa, kunyari, sa mga, for example, sa mga naging gambling addict to help them ilang porsyento. At may percent po doon sa 10% na tax na yun gustong ilaan ng party list sa research. If given a chance to research more on online gambling, given the budget, ano po ba yung dapat next thing na dapat mas paglaanan ng research o saan direction dapat tayo in terms of research?
I think there is a need for more predictive analysis similar dun sa
in behavioral aspect.
In behavioral aspect, oo. Na sinubukan naming gawin, no? And we hope na more research will come out that will do the same. No, kasi importante 'yon na ma-predict mo, no? Kahit hindi naman super spot on, no, but ma-predict mo ano yung posibleng mangyari kung ganito yung gagawin mo, no? Kung ito yung regulation na gagawin mo halimbawa. No, importanteng magkaroon ng parang policy impact assessment, 'di ba? Na data-driven talaga, na kita mo talaga kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa behavior ng mga tao. No? So, I think that's a direction that other researchers can consider in the future. More of that predictive analysis of behavior would be necessary para din mabawasan yung mga assumptions, 'di ba? Or yung mga assumptions at least magkaroon ng basis, 'di ba? And pangalawa, para mas guided din yung ating mga policymakers in designing policies that would really help in addressing kung ano yung root causes nung problema na tinatackle nila at kung paano nila tutulungan yung mga online gambling players.
Kasi at the same time, parang nanganganak po yung problema eh, no? Kasi katulad nga po nito, sabi ko nga po kanina na good thing naman yung pag-unlink ng mga e-wallet platforms. Pero hindi nga po nakita na pwedeng may movement, may migration, and may shift.
Correct.
Na dapat kung if there's a predictive analysis na done caters to this kind of data, matutugunan na sana
Yes.
kasabay ng pag-unlink. Meron na rin nagbabantay dun sa mga unregulated sites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier na may mga maraming players, isa rin sa mga factor kung bakit yung mga tao nalulugmok talaga sa mga harmful effects ng online gambling is they're not fully aware kung ano yung mga effects nito at saka kung ano yung mga institution na makakatulong sa kanila. What are some ways that could help the public be more informed? Lalo na in efforts of the government or efforts of private institutions even. Ano po ba yung mga paraan na pwede nang gawin para ma-inform ang publiko dito?
Well, the regulators need to do more awareness campaigns, no? Na like, it could be as simple as posting infographics on what the regulators do, di ba? And how exactly will the regulators' efforts help them, no? Pwedeng ganun, may mga info ads naman na existing, di ba? Or pwede mong ilagay yung mga info ads na yun dun sa mga platforms mismo, di ba? Na parang isingit mo lang yun doon na, oh, this is how Pagcor can help you, ganyan. So that's just an example, no? Infographics, ads, no? Palakasin nila yung ganun para mas malaman ng tao kung ano yung ginagawa nila. No? Mas klaro sa tao kung paano sila pinoprotektahan ng mga regulators.
Okay. And down to my last questions. Ang nangyayari po talaga sa parang kaya na pag-uusapan itong online gambling is maraming nabibiktima talaga. And it is once a form of entertainment, pero nagiging public health crisis na rin siya kasi nagkakaroon ng mga issue and nagiging family issue na rin siya kapag nalulung ang isang membro ng pamilya. So, it has become of national concern. What can you do as a researcher and also the fourth wall to help mitigate na patuloy pa yung paglala nito?
Well, what we can do is to continue doing this independent studies to explore further yung behavior. Hindi lang yung root causes but also paano siya nakakaapekto sa mga tao, sa mga pamilya. Kasi at present, maraming anecdotes tayo na nakikita, no, pero ano exactly yung yung behavior, no, na involved, no, and how broad is the impact, no, across all the players, yun yung something na pwede pang i-explore, no. Kasi right now we have those anecdotes, pero ano pa lang siya, kumbaga kung from a research standpoint, medyo pa siya, limited information pa yan. We need to do a more comprehensive research para makita kung hanggang saan ba yung extent nitong problem na ito. Like, does it affect the majority of the population or not? Or are these isolated cases, as Pagcor mentioned during the hearing, isolated cases ba talaga siya? Or rampant siya? Hindi lang sinishare nung iba. So, that's a very interesting area na we can explore in the next series of studies that we will do.
Okay, one last thing. You mentioned na talagang pinag-aaralan nyo how Filipinos behave the way they are. So, ano naman po yung pwedeng gawin ng mga tao in terms of self-regulation? Lalo na kausap natin dito yung mga nagtatry-try tumaya o kaya yung mga tao na talagang nalulubog na rin sa utang sa pagtataya. In terms of self-regulation, ano po yung mga efforts, personal efforts na pwedeng gawin ng mga tao?
Well, ito hindi na to wala nang basis to sa mga research namin, It's outside the scope na, but I think I would cite yung work ni James Clear, no, na for you to develop a specific habit, no, you need to go first dun sa ano ba yung root causes or your triggers nung behavior na yun, no. Meron kasing mga subtle triggers yan na alam mo hindi mo na napapansin, 'di ba? Pero it actually leads you to to do something, 'di ba? Or to act on a certain way. No, for example, ito example lang kunwari, may tendency ka to play online gambling kapag kunwari nag-iisa ka, 'di ba? So yun, I mean, it's very subtle, 'di ba? Hindi naman siya
Parang na-bored lang.
na-bore ka lang, mag-isa ka. So ending naglaro ka.
Mhm.
So if that is the case, if yun yung trigger mo, then to self-regulate, then umalis ka from being alone, 'di ba? I mean, go somewhere else na may nakakakita sa
Socialize.
or ramdam mo na may kasama ka,
Mm-mm.
'di ba? So that's just one example. But the point is you have to look at where your trigger is.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's still consistent with what I shared na you have to look at the root causes. No? And it requires a lot of self-reflection, no, on the part of the player. No? He needs to reflect on ano ba yung nagiging trigger niya, or kung hindi siya aware, makakatulong din yung mga taong nasa paligid niya. No? You can ask, kailan ba ako naglalaro? 'Di ba? Ano yung napapansin ninyo? When do I start playing? So makakatulong din doon yung mga kaibigan nila, no, yung relatives. After all, relatives and friends are the potent factors, 'di ba, that drive them to online gambling. So might as well baka sila din yung makatulong in,
Para
you know,
maalis.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yung support nung mga nasa paligid nila. So those are some things that people can look at. But the point is, if you want to address this behavioral challenge, you have to approach it in terms of behavior.
Mhm.
Hindi based sa assumptions lang or opinions. You have to approach it behaviorally, and you need to have behavioral data to do so.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Brian. This has been really an insightful discussion about online gambling in terms of research na backed up with credible research. And
Yeah.
I think nabanggit niyo nga po kanina na yun yung mahalaga in terms of
Yes.
lawmaking.
Yes.
Na talagang may bulk ng research at datos na pinagbabasihan para makita at makagawa ng mga effective and efficient na mga laws. Maraming salamat po for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
And that has been Sir John Braille Bae, the Research Director of the Fourth Wall. Samahan niyo akong muli sa susunod na linggo para tunghayan ng iba't ibang boses, mga kwento mula sa iba't ibang anggulo. Dito lang sa Point of View.